Okay, we're holding already Parshas, the last Parshas of the Torah, Nitzavim, Vayeilch. And Rabbi Yeruchim points out a phenomenal thing that here, Klal Yisrael just went through the neighboring countries. You saw Shikutseim, they're detestable things. And you need a new bris. I mean, you were just with Moshe Rabbeinu and Ani Yaakov for 40 years. You were the greatest Kedusha. You're just exposed to their shmutz. Then you do bris. The power of influence is amazing. On the other hand, think about it. Rosh Hashanah, Hashem wants us to say, Malchi is chorin the shofars. Now, how much would that take? And the Gemara tells us, Imr lefanai, Malchius. Say in front of me, Malchius. 10 psukim. You make me the king over you. 10 psukim. Malchius. You make me a king. Blow shofar. This is all part of it. How much is shofar? If you take the literal halachic shofar, which we're not clear, says Gemara, what the trua means, but if we would know, the trua, according to Rashi Shita, could be duh-duh-duh. That's it. So tekiah has to equal the duh-duh-duh sound. Tekiah, trua, tekiah. 3 sets. 6 seconds. The whole shofar blowing. From the Torah standpoint. You make me king over you. That's what I'm saying there. The power of the psukim, of the shofar. On the other hand, you see the power of the exposure to the wrong things. On the other hand, the power to Kedusha is ever-changing. You can make a Kosh Baruch HaMelech. Powerful. Now, we ask our question to ourselves that, it's Elul. Like I always said, it's one of the 7 wonders of the world, is we're going to be standing in front of the din on Rosh Hashanah, Lifnei Melech Malchei Amlochim. Our lives are in the balance. Health, Parnasa, Hatzlacha, Ruchnius, Gashmius. We just went through the most unbelievable year. Nobody in a million years would ever have dreamt it could be such an upheaval in the world. Do you see anybody quaking in fear, trepidation? My life's on the line in a week. Hey, what do I do? Nobody's quaking. I shouldn't say nobody, but you don't see quaking, fear, dread, pachad. My life is on the line. Everything about me, my whole future is on the line. How come nobody's quaking? It's a pella. It's a wonder of wonders. And everybody believes. Ask anybody. And the proof is in the pudding, as they say. By Neila, the last chasmeinu. We're pleading because we know that everything in the year is coming up to our davening, our tefillas. So we believe it. If we believe it, then why don't we live it? What's the pshat? But not to worry, the Torah itself tells us very clear in Parshas Kisavai, the last Parsh of Kisavai. It says over there, Moshe Rabbeinu says, Atem Risem, you saw everything I did with your own eyes, Mitzrayim. Masas Gedoylos, Oisais, Maivsim, you saw everything. Hashem didn't give you a discerning heart, eyes to see. Till today. How long is that after they left Egypt? 40 years in the Midbar with Moshe Rabbeinu and Ani Yaakov. Excuse me. And they didn't get it. Why? Because Hashem didn't grant to you the understanding. Means you can see it, you can hear it, but you just don't get it. But it's not even our fault, because unless Hashem gives it to us, we don't get it. So apparently we're not getting it because Hashem's not giving it to us. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? But it sounds like Moshe Rabbeinu is saying you finally got it. What do you mean finally got it? Well, what can we do? The answer is, Yohev Chochma L'Chakim, Hashem grants wisdom to the wise. Well, that's a catch-22. Who made you wise to be able to have Chochma? Mr. Hashem has to do that. So it sounds like, I'm a loser either way. If I got the Chochma Hashem gave to him, I'm a lucky guy. If not, I can't get it. Reish is Chochma Yiras Hashem, says the pasuk. What's the beginning of Chochma? What's the tachlis of Chochma? Is Yiras Shamayim, fear Hashem. Hakol b'dei Shamayim, chutz miyiras Shamayim. Everything's up to Hashem except for Yiras Shamayim that the person can get. Oh, so when we get Yiras Shamayim, Hashem says Yiras Shamayim. Now you're the Chochma. Now I'm going to give you Chochma. So finally they got it after 40 years. Rabbi Shemini gave the Torah to Shevet Levi. They came crying, we want the Torah too. Okay, that's all discussion. How can Levi ever be assumed to have the Torah? Whatever it is. But the obsession that we want the Torah exposed and exhibited, the underlying Ratzon. We want the Torah of Yerushalayim. We want to connect that Kodesh Baruch Hu. That's why she says, to vakim, to be cleaving at chafetzim and desiring Kodesh Baruch Hu. That we could do. So when we do, and we want, and we recognize that Yerushalayim, that's our life, we want to serve Kodesh Baruch Hu, then Hashem will grant us understanding. And we're about to see. Whatever takes place in the world around us is Hashem. I said over that there's an amazing story. I'm not going to go through the whole story now, but the chief rabbi of Eretz Yisrael, Rabbi Shapira, had asked the connector, someone to get him to get to President Bush, the senior Bush, for an audience. They used to have one every year. Anyway, make a long story short, he got his audience with President Bush. President Bush told Rabbi Balkan, who orchestrated this meeting, he said it was the most meaningful meeting I've ever had in my life. He's surprised. Why? He said, what did he do? For 45 minutes, all he did was, the chief rabbi was talk about President Bush, since he's a child, growing through his life. He said things that the president totally forgot about. So why is that the most meaningful meeting? Yeah, of course, everybody likes to hear about themselves. Right? But what's the pshat? The pshat is that when I meet a president, it's about me, not about him. I met the president of the United States. He patted me on the back. He had a picture. He gave me it's about what I get out of it. This Rabbi Shapira researched the president, things that no one would ever do. Why? Because he's important. The president realized someone cares about me, not him. He's going to detail my life. Research things that no one care about. Wow, that's meaningful. So imagine, if we're going to meet the king of all kings. And now we're going to stand before him. Of course he's the powerful king. He has everything. But if I research him, if I now take my time, study HaKadosh Baruch Hu, his Bria, look around the world around us, everything is his. The infinite wisdom that's in any creation, it's all Hashem. His Heilige Torah, you take it now, the halacha, understand what Hashem said, a pasuk. He's Tvar Hashem, he's the king. You know what? It hurts me. Other people don't even know that he's the king. They don't know he exists. He's the king and I care about it. Hashem says, what? I have meaning to you? You really care about me, my kingdom? Wow, that's meaningful. Of course everybody wants to live and want to go weiter, but to research and to prepare ourselves and to be able to come along and say, I care about the king. Imagine how meaningful that is to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's my day, Rosh Hashanah. And you're caring about me being the king of the world, and it means something to you. Can you imagine? It's a meaningful meeting to him. We have time. We can prepare. And I know time is short, but just one very short point, it's not short, but to use it, is I think also when we look over the course of a year, many times we'll look at different things that we had difficulties. That's true. Everybody had whatever the challenges. But also, I think most of the time we're missing all the good things that took place over the course of the year. We don't even realize things were good until you start thinking, my back didn't hurt today. Well, why should it hurt? Well, that's for granted. What do you mean? People's back, a human being, things can happen. If we don't even realize and fathom so many good things in our life, and even the challenging things might have brought out better things about ourselves. So even though we should take time to look over this life, if we could thank Hashem for the good things we had too. So I always said, again, I can't get into the story now, but we say Friday night, I thank you Hashem for all the chesed you did for me. Then I say the next words, which you're going to do. Why am I thanking you for the future? It hasn't happened yet. When it happens, I'll say thank you. But, based on the number of stories which are unbelievable, a person that recognized the toiv in the good, and he thanked for that, is muftach. I'm ready to thank you for the future, because why don't I thank you for the future? I didn't get it. I don't know if I'm going to get it. But if I'm muftach, and I know I'm going to get it, so thank you already now. I know I'm getting it. So if I could say, by the ani, and look back and see such toivas, such good HaKadosh Baruch Hu did for me, and it's worth the investment, take a few minutes, sit back and think, even a few points that come to mind of the good that took place, and I express my thank you to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for that took place in the past. You know what? There's a certain muftach, there's a certain assuredness. I'm going to be thanking you for more. That's bracha, Baruch, you're the source of blessing. Hashem wants us to say that because then he opens up the tzinoiros, the fountains, the bracha they're going to come. So we have opportunity. We come to recognize that we're going to the King of all kings, the most powerful. And he allows us, now that we look for him, he'll allow us to see and to be understand. He gives us that chachma, and we'll use that and recognize that his malchus, that's really the most, and that's the only thing really that we aspire to and yearn for, to covet Shemaim in the Bria. And then if we can recognize us that we're part of that, his players, and we appreciate that and thank him for that, Hashem says, oh, you're my man. Another year, good life, you'll have tzlacha, you'll have simcha, you'll have nachas, and the ultimate, you'll be my emissary, my person that's going to be the conduit to bring back Kavod Shemaim in the Bria, and Klal Yisrael should be gebenched for the Ksivach Torah.